So I'm just freestyling, just introduce myself.
Okay. And start off with your name, if you can.
Okay. Yeah, I got an outline. I'm ready whenever you say go.
Go.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. My name is Jamarr Stone Sr. And I'm at the Trumbull Correctional Institution. With thanks of good friends at FTR, I've been provided the opportunity to share a little bit of my story. So bear with me. Background noise. I'm in the phone room here. I do my best to enlighten you on what's going on here. A brief breakdown of who I am. I'm 38 years old.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I'm incarcerated on a charge of murder and a drug charge that resulted from my addiction to opiates and prison system. I'll get to that later. But I was a low-level, slash mid-level drug dealer. I traveled to different cities with a group of older guys that I was up under the influence with, and it led me to Springfield, Ohio, where I ultimately had made some bad acquaintances with guys. And one night at a nightclub, I was approached by two guys, threatened about my drug territory, and ultimately assaulted and chased out of the club with what I thought was a gun. Turned out to be a silver cell phone. So I was in possession of a legal firearm, defending myself and the life of my brother, and as a result, I've been here ever since 2004. I took full responsibility of my crime, even though I felt like I had been overcharged and that I was defending myself. I still took responsibility for it, turned myself into the proper authorities, and got on with my sentence. Prison was a little bit different back then. It was a little bit more harsher, and things going on pretty much shaped the life of an inmate, whether he was actually an inmate or a convict. I started out in Lebanon Correctional, and I was forced right then with a decision to either continue playing the hard role or give my life over to God and do what was right. So for the first 5 years of my incarceration, I actually did what was right. I poured into myself. I did my Bible study, and I found out that I had a knack for writing, and I could obtain freedom through writing. I got a good job in the prison system, and I did well until drugs found their way to my life, and I felt like I could no longer do it on my own. Fast forward a little bit, I ended up in another facility London Correctional, where I was actually leaning on heroin to cope. My mother had just had a severe stroke, and I felt like that was the only thing that I could do. So pretty much most of my work progress, I backslid the very moment that I started putting heroin on my nose. Now, I know a lot of people might feel like, how did this guy get heroin? How did he do this and how did he do that? Well, the opioid crisis and epidemic is not just in society. It's in prison as well. Even more so because these are the guys that want to escape. So every 3 bunks that you walk by or every 3 cells, it's a guy in there that has heroin or Suboxone in his possession. And it's hard because with heartache and so many things going on in the prison system, that's what the common inmate leans to. The gangs and, the violence and all of that is usually revolving around drugs. So I found myself in the thrust of an addiction and eventually was charged with possession of heroin and sent back to Lebanon Correctional. And in between that, I did all type of positive stuff. I said before, I got into the writer's workshop and I penned a couple novels. And, all the things, it was good, but I couldn't shake the heroin until I was sent back to Lebanon. When I got back to Lebanon Correctional, it was infested with gangs. Things have changed. By now, I'm 6 years into a 15-year life prison stint. I just realized that that's definitely not what I want for my life. I've seen at this point, I've seen two guys literally die overdosed off fentanyl laced heroin. And I just didn't want it anymore. Just walking by and you seeing a guy that just put you on the phone.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Excuse me. But just seeing a guy that was right next to you on the phone, you're walking by and you see him dragging him out of his cell with blue in the face because his body couldn't handle the heroin that he just ingested. Like it does something to you. So I went cold turkey. Since then, haven't had a drink, haven't smoked anything, haven't done any drugs. And I've pretty much become an advocate for the opioid crisis here in the prison system. A few years back, I got my chemical dependency counseling certification. I got my paralegal certification. I took programs inside the prison to help me better communicate my feelings and my aspirations of being a strong recovering addict to the inmate population. So far, I would say that I've done a decent job. But if there's one thing that I can reiterate, is that we do have an opioid crisis in the prison system. A lot of the staff won't admit it, but the numbers show. I'm in PCI, and the last 3 weeks, I've literally watched 3 guys overdose. One of them was a guy that I just had words with. I'm at the microwave cooking, and I look over, he hadn't been out of his cell, and a couple of days before that, and next thing you know, they were pulling him out and, revived him. He hit me with Narcan, he was pretty much dead. It's an actual problem. The staff, they typically brush it up under the rug. The programs that they offer are so basic that it's like the staff don't want to be there, so the inmates don't want to be there. So that's a problem, and that's something that I think that with the help of FDR, we can attack some of those issues. Another thing that I like to speak on is the mindset of the common inmates in the prison system right now. Back when I first started, the technology was nowhere near where it is right now. The guys are so consumed with the tablets, the electronic devices with the video games and movies on it that they're zombies. They sit up and play games all day.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
And years go by, and they're released right back out into society with nothing more on their minds that day than when they walk in. It's like they snap their fingers and they're back out. Worse, if anything, those devices can be used as a therapeutic tool to keep guys out of trouble. At the same time, it's stagnating. Right now, the average inmate has 7 times more conduct reports. These are the new law inmates and the old law inmates. These are the guys that don't have to go to the parole board. They just walk through free, willy-nilly, and they don't have to answer anymore. So that's a problem because these are it's the future of our generation. The youth, the guys that we pour life into, that we send it back out to society. So that's another issue. I know it'll be addressed at a later date time, but that's an issue for everyone who's listening. I would suggest that you look into that and see what type of things that you can implement, what type of strategies you can present to help combat this issue. So the tablets and all that's a good idea, but right now we need more educational efforts. We need more things that have to do with.
Well, we got disconnected somehow. I'm sure he'll call back. So I'm just going to wait. I'm not sure how we got cut off. I noticed this happened to him the other day. So it's got to be something with their phone line. But he's got a powerful message, just as all the men so far that called in, and Gina's going to be doing some women a young lady by the name of Callie the end of the month, and another lady. So we're going to get their stories out. Let's hope he calls back in. If not, we're going to have to do another one with him. I like listening to his story. He called me yesterday and went through parts of it in how many minutes they can speak on the phone, but he went through it fast yesterday. Also, I wanted to promote my friend Lynette Grace's button here. It says, forgiveness is contagious. Pass it on. She has them for a donation of $1. She also has shirts for sale that says the same things. I'm not sure how much the shirts are, but you could inbox her on Facebook, Lynette Grace. Maybe he's not calling back. We'll give him a couple of minutes and just see where he stands. They've also done this when they did an emergency lockdown at the institution, or if it was close to count time, but they just had count time, so it can't be that. But when you are at a closed facility, you never know what it is. So, here he is again. I knew he would call back and save me.
Hello. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
We lost you. Yeah, we lost you again. Okay, go back to whatever you were saying. You're still on live.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, excuse me for the delay. But yes, one of the things that we need to do is get more coverage of the drug situation that's going on in the institution. And more so the accountability with the staff. One of the main concerns of mine with the guys that has to see the parole board or is looking to get judicial releases and get back out to their family early is the lack of accountability within the administrative body of ODRC. I'll give you an example. In 2018, July 26th, I had a visit with a good friend. Her and her friend came down to see me and my friend. They came in, had a good visit, they left. The next day, an outside worker in a block that I was housed in got picked up with drugs in his possession. Isolated incident, I thought. He went to the hole. I thought nothing else about it. Well, 2 weeks prior, I had been denied a level 1 status decrease because I hadn't, quote unquote, seen the parole board yet. So that's the second year that it happened. I filed a complaint against it. Well, the drugs that got found on the outside worker, I was tied into it. I guess it was just that I attacked policy and they wasn't going for it. So I did everything that I was supposed to do. I went to my R&B hearing. I asked to see the evidence. They denied me. I spoke. I asked for the investigator who wrote the ticket to be there. I did everything. I covered all of my tracks. This call is originating from an
They don't go along with the inmate much.
And may be recorded and monitored.
While in segregation, I wrote informal complaints and grievances and asked that they check the so-called surveillance footage and the phone calls that the investigator used to find me guilty, and the system failed me. They never looked at the evidence. They never listened to the phone calls. They never allowed me to use the evidence. I was rolled out of the institution in 28 days. My visitor was taken off my visitation list before I even went to my hearing. Everyone from warden down to the inspector of the institution denied having looked at this information. So I was sent to Trumbull Correctional where I now reside. In October, which was 2 months later, 2.5 months later, I filed a 1983 civil lawsuit citing cruel and unusual punishment and due process violations for the things that happened at my hearing. August 27th, I had, through the power of the federal courts, the information, the evidence used by the investigator to find me guilty subpoenaed. He didn't want to give it to me. He fought all the way up until courts, but it arrived at the institution. The lady who watched the video with me, the staff member, her mind was blown. Nothing that the guy said in his conduct report was on the video. They never showed the woman driving down the street. The phone calls were spliced and things were omitted, just as I claimed. The whole thing through my informal complaints and grievances, the whole process was manipulated so that he could find me guilty and retaliate against me for attacking ODRC policy. Now, the issue was isolated, but at the same time, I was going to up for parole within the next year. So I went from a level 2 institution where I programmed for 3 years, thrived. Not one single ticket. I programmed for the reintegration program. I took the therapeutic community as a 15-month intense inpatient program. I had college courses. I had correspondence courses through the mails. I published my 5th book while there. I did all of these things. I wrote proposals for the staff. I helped create the now widely Helping Hands organization in DRC. So frequently blatant on just to show that they're actually inmate friendly. I did all of these things, and just because I attacked policy, I was retaliated on, and here I sit. So my next topic is accountability and actionable steps to take with that. Who holds these individuals accountable? We can't do it from the inside. So we need the help of individuals like you to hold these people responsible. Everything that I'm saying can be validated by looking up Stone versus Collier et al. 219 CD 00401. It's a federal lawsuit. Anyone that's willing to come forward and maybe help me with pro bono legal assistance, I'm doing this on my own.
How can they get a hold of you? If they want to help, how can they get a hold of you?
If you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me here at the prison at Jamarr Stone at jpay.com 475-726. So that's the jpay.com at Jamarr Stone 475-726. I have an online petition for clemency at this is all lowercase, www.petition-site.com/119/765/769/petition-2018. So that's just basically you can go to the petition site and pull up my name. And if any of you interested in my book, it's a memoir that pretty much just speaks of my life in prison and the transformation that I went through. It's called From Soldier to King, a prisoner story of pain, regret, and retribution. And you can go on Google and Google my name, Jamarr Rodney Stone Sr., and it'll pop up like that. It's on Amazon, it's on Barnes & Noble, Kindle. But I really like to get as much help, shine and light on this as much as possible. I had a year before I went to the parole board, and this is damaging. Now here it is. I went for my first statutory parole board hearing, July 3rd. I had a successful conference, June 3rd of this year, and the next month I was scheduled for my first parole board. This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored. I was scheduled for my first parole board hearing via Skype. I went to the infirmary. I was ready. I was perked up. I sat there. In 2 minutes, they crushed my spirit. I went in the back and they told me that my hearing had been scheduled due to notices not being filed. That was mind blown. The first thing that I could think about was possible collusion between the defendants on my civil suit and the parole board. I know it isn't always like that, but with it being the same body of individuals, that's the first thing that came to my mind. So anybody that can possibly render any type of assistance, get a word out, my hearing is scheduled for next month. It's tentative right now after the date. but I go within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So anybody that can help shine light on this, if you want to go to the petition website and maybe give me a good word or something, that's good. But I just want to say for all the guys that's in here fighting this hard with so much drugs and violence, I watched a guy get punched just because another guy wanted his cell so he can get inside the cell with his homeboy. Now, we want eggshells for the guys that got to see the parole board, and I don't think the parole board panel members understand this. They say it's going to be transparency, more transparency within the parole board and all these things. Well, it's so hard to actually display signs of rehabilitation. And when things like this happen, get framed because you attack a policy and things are supposed to be the way they are, and you speak on it, like it's like guys that never get out. So I would just like for anybody with a listening ear that's compassionate to just really just have empathy and just put yourself in these guys' shoes that's on the inside of here that's fighting to get out. It's so hard. Now, I will say that now there's a lot of good programs that's going on in the institution, and they are ran by inmates. But the inmates are not getting the credit. I just went through a situation where
Well, we keep losing him. He'll call back. I really believe Trumbull messes with these guys, and that is why this is happening, so he'll be calling back, I'm sure, but he gave you his contact information, and his online petition information. So, we need a network with others so we can get these people help that they deserve. Nobody should be discriminated against or set up by staff by any means. And it seems to me that some of these people are being set up. I've heard their stories, and it's not hard to tell if somebody's lying. If they keep saying the same thing over and over again, they're most likely telling the truth. So, and I'm not saying inmates don't lie sometimes, but I do know state officials lie even more. So let's have accountability amongst the state folks. Hey, he's back on again.
Hello. This is a prepaid. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Let's try again. Okay, you're on air right now.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm back.
Yeah.
We had some technical difficulties. But the last thing that I was speaking about was the inmate-led programs and the lack of genuine care and concern from the staff. When the new director just came with these modifications to the parole board, they came with what's called a DRC 3031 staff input form. This allows the staff to speak on the inmates' behavior from what they see inside the prison. Now that's a good thing because we're around them the most. The correctional officers that we porter for and clean up in the blocks, and the ones that see that we mind our business or we help out the inmates out or things like that. The staff members who we facilitate programs for, or this call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored. They're the ones that see us day in and day out. But the issue is, for so long, for them to speak up on our behalf, it was forbidden, in that it was establishing a relationship. So now none of the staff wants to do a staff input form. So with that, with all of these thoughts of transparency and things being fixed within the institution, somebody from the inside needs to get out and speak on the things that's going on in here, or else our voices are never really heard. I've asked 12 staff members to put in a staff input form. They all give up some excuse about how they're not comfortable with it, or they don't know if they're allowed to do that. They don't know who they have to round it to. That's another hurdle. for the inmates to have to see the parole board. There's so many things that come with. I'll give you another example about the lack of concern from staff. When the guy goes, who killed, slain Ohio State student Reagan Coates, when he did what he did, things changed. I don't support it. I don't believe that what he did was right or anything like that. I'm not advocating any type of violence, anything like that. My point is that the staff put it on him. His conduct in the institute, he had 47 infractions, I believe. Don't quote me on it, but I know it was a high number. They let him out. He got out, he reoffended. Right now, in TCI, the common thing is guys masturbating on the correctional officers, doing all type of weird things with each other. That gets overlooked. Those guys go straight home. They don't have to answer to anything. But the guy that has to see the parole board is up under so much scrutiny. And the first time we do something, a law is changed. But what about the guys that's constantly catching all the tickets? It's proven, it's statistically proven that old law offenders or guys that have to see the parole board are 3 times less likely to reoffend than these other guys. So why is it so hard to give guys another chance? Me, myself, I've had infractions in prison. I just agreed that I struggled with drugs. I had dealing tickets. I had a fight or two along the way. It's prison. When I go see the parole board, what would they say? Will they hold this against me where I just showed that I was framed? Or will they look at the 200 plus certificates that I got? The fact that I've written books in here, which will they look at? So it's a catch-22 with the parole board. It's kind of like you screwed if you don't, you screwed if you do. I've heard stories of guys going up and they saying, well, you don't have enough programs, and then you haven't gotten in any trouble. It's not likely that you're in prison. But then when you do get in trouble, it's like, oh, well, you had this infraction. So the possibility of a guy coming out in October of this year, I think it's October 1st, when the director gauge the level of infractions, I think that would be a good thing. But there's so much going on with the lack of accountability with the administration.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I heard a correctional officer tell another inmate the other day, go ahead and write in a formal complaint. Here's my name. They're a joke. And the formal complaint process is a joke, is what she said. And I believe her. I've written over the past year, I've written maybe 25 formal complaints. None of them have been successfully resolved, besides one. When I transferred from here and they damaged something to mine, and I had to go through all of these hoops and hurdles, and they paid for it. But other than that, everything that's dealing with my civil suit, they overlook it. Denying us access to the legal librarian, they overlook it. So that's where it starts at. Before we change what's going on out there with the recidivism rate and all of these things that have to do with the prison system being overflowed, we have to start with inside. The programs are okay, they could be better. The schooling in some institutions is better than others. But let's talk about the opioid crisis. Let's talk about the guys overdosing and dying in prison. Let's talk about drugs being on every other person within the institution. Let's talk about how when a staff member does something wrong and an inmate outs it, that his superior or her superior will look away instead of punishing this staff member. Like, at what point does it stop? Once again, with my civil suit, all RIB, that's the Rules Infraction Board hearing, in case you don't know, all RIB recordings are to be held for 3 years. Well, I have sworn testimony that came from an admission from the lieutenant that's chaired my 2018 Rules Infraction Board hearing. He said they don't have it anymore. He admitted, swore under oath they destroyed it. Well, when I reviewed the DRC record retention schedule, it said that by law they have 3 years to hold any RIV recordings and then they're to be erased. So who's going to hold this guy accountable? Now, I posted in the blog. For those of you that haven't seen any of my blogs, they were Jamarr, Rodney Stone Senior. So check out my blog. There'll be a little bit more information on MTR Facebook site. But at what point, who holds these people accountable? If the federal courts doesn't immediately hold these guys accountable, who does? So once again, the RIB recording, the surveillance footage, the global telling, monitor phone calls, all of this stuff is evidence to exonerate me on the charges and prove criminal acts by staff members of ODRC. If anyone wants to look at Ms. Loomis, the administrative assistant here at the printer, she has the disc. Was not permitted an opportunity to actually hold them, protect them, or anything like that, but Attorney General Byron D. Turner sent them down here, and I was permitted to view them. So anybody can, this is now public information, anybody can see this. Anybody can actually view my civil suit to see what this is stuff that's going on. And hundreds of inmates at the CCI Center they've been done like this. So I just ask that anybody with a listening ear that's listening in that really cares to take note of this and somehow assist us. In case you didn't get the information before, you can contact me here at the prison. I'm at Trumbull Correctional Institution, so we have electronic mail. It's jpay.com, and my name is Jamarr Rodney Stone. My inmate number is 475-726. My online petition for release is www.thepetitionsite.com. And you just punch in my name, Jamarr Stone, or Jamarr Stone Legacy Petition. And if you're interested in reading my memoir to learn a little bit more about me, you can Google my name, Jamarr R. Stone, and it'll send you straight to From Soul to the King, a prisoner story of pain, regret, and retribution. In closing, I just want to say that there's a lot of good guys in here that did wrong and work hard daily for rehabilitation and to help other guys. Right now, I'm in a program called the Day Treatment Program here at TCI. It's a program that's federally funded for the mentally ill. The guys that's mentors, we mentor mentees, which are guys that's on the caseload. We essentially do what therapists should do day in and day out. Since I've been in this block, I've seen over 20 guys cut themselves. I've seen guys overdose over drugs, illicit drugs. I've seen guys attempt to hang themselves. And they lean on us inmates for support. Mental health issues in prison, it's off the charts. It's unreal how bad some guys really are mentally and how big the stigma is.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
With mental health, I never really knew that I suffered from mental health issues until I was in segregation in a Chillicothe institution, being transitioned from there to here on the charges of attempted to conveyance. I never really knew how bad I was off until I got up here and actually sought the specialist. It's serious. And it's guys, it's much worse off than me. I think that one of the things that we can do with the help of you guys out there in society is to shine a light on mental health and to let the guys know in here that to stay up on your mental health hygiene is a good thing. I was diagnosed with depression, separation disorder, and anxiety. It all stemmed from the cruel and unusual punishment that I suffered while in segregation. It forced everything to the surface. messages. Today I'm messages. I don't take any medication. I see a mental health liaison once or twice a month. But it's so many guys that just bad off, man. And if you want to kill yourself in prison, you don't want to live anymore, and you have 18 months to go before you're out the door, or 4 months to go, someone is failing miserably and helping these guys. So those are some of the issues that I think we can touch on. I apologize if I stuttered a little bit or I was kind of off whack. This is new to me.
You did great. You did great.
Okay. I appreciate it. You know, every one of you guys is following the Fair Treatment Reform and Reentry page, the website. They're doing awesome things in society to help us get our voices heard, to highlight what's going on in the prison system. And I know it's supposed to be punishment. I know it's not supposed to be pleasant. But some of the things that's going on are wrong. And we rely on the rules and the staff to facilitate our rehabilitation.
Right.
If it's kinks in that system, they need to be worked out. If it's things that are being done wrong, it needs to be corrected. It needs to be accountability on behalf of the offender just as well as it is with the inmate. And with that, I'm going to close. I'll say God bless you to everyone, and I pray everyone has a nice day. And,
Well, thanks, Jerome.
okay.
Jamarr, I'm sorry. We had, okay.
And I meant to do. Before
You have
Okay.
1 minute remaining.
Okay, that's,
we go on,
yeah. But
yeah, I'm taking the day.
that sounds great. Okay, bro.
So I'll contact you in a week or so, or I have somebody, I have the same girl. If you want to, whenever you get a chance, you can let her know where that link is.